We have a bunch of leftover plots.
Somebody write any of them.
Hey everybody, welcome to Somebody Write This, the podcast where we take a randomly generated plot synopsis and try to turn it into something somebody might want to write. I'm Hannah.
And I'm Jenny.
And we have no guest today because today is a special day. Today marks a little bit past the 1-year anniversary of this podcast.
Yay, woo!
Yeah, so we thought we'd do something a little bit different. For most of the podcasts that we've done, not all of them, but most of them, I have kept the leftover rejected plots. What we do at the beginning of every episode is we generate 3 plots and let our guests choose whichever one speaks to them the most. And so I have been saving the other 2 for most of our podcasts. So we have 32 rejected podcasts from about a little over half of our episodes so far. And so what I thought might be really fun is we're gonna speed run them. And we're going to next year I might have to actually time this to happen like a little early, right before Nano. And to be like a speed, do you need a plot? Here are 40 of them. Choose one and go. So since we don't want this episode to be an hour and a half long, what we're going to do is I am literally going to set a timer for everyone. I'm going to give it a minute 10, so that it gives us a little time to transition.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this is going to be insane.
We're going to spend 1 minute on every plot and seeing, can we add anything to it to make it make a little bit more sense than the nonsense that we have with it to begin with. So that's what it's going to be, just Jenny and I trying to brainstorm our way through 32 plots in the next, 40 minutes.
Everybody wish us luck!
It's going to be awesome! All right, and we start my timer, plug in the first plot, and it is, the Jedi performs, which leads to her killing someone she doesn't know. The Jedi Council performs.
What, the council is a her? Is a council a single person?
I think the council
it's like
is
caught up on details.
The council is a group of people, and their performance leads to somebody else killing someone that they don't know. Using the Force. Is this using the Force through music? Force performance. Yeah. So
somebody misses when they're aiming their Force wave at something.
Oh, okay. So the Force performance draws their... Okay.
Yeah, which leads somebody in the audience with a weak will to just, throttle the person next to her or something.
Oh, gosh. So then it becomes like a political story about, the legal ramifications of the Jedi Council accidentally causing deaths of other people.
Oh, gosh.
I don't feel like that's a very good control of their use of the Force. So, okay. All right. That's 8. We've got 7 seconds left. I'm going to post the next one.
Sweet. 890 crewmen share a forbidden romance with God.
This was one of our very first ones, and I remember just going, what are we going to do with this?
Yeah, what?
So what this feels like to me, this feels Cthulhu-esque. This feels the old one.
Okay.
So it's 890 crewmen who become a cult.
Okay, so crewmen, is this like one ship or like a whole bunch?
I think one ship. They accidentally sail into evil God's lair, and are taken over by the Cthulhu-esque deep old one.
But forbidden romance, that's
Yeah, so they come back and they're all super in favor of this and trying to convert other people.
Okay. I'm just so in love with the tentacles.
Yeah, or maybe this god has been since it is forbidden, so maybe this god has actually been maybe it's in this lair because it's actually been severed from society. Maybe it used to be okay.
No, don't love me.
Yeah. Yes. Or other people found a way to.
You're supposed to detest me. You're supposed to fear me.
Exactly.
Stop sending me flowers.
Okay. So that's the cult of the crewmen. All right. Number 3. A talented Indian cricket player undertakes a search for a military plane crash and breast implants in Beverly Hills. Okay, so I guess the biggest question to know about this one is whether these are connected.
Not necessarily. Is this like a kind of miscongeniality thing where you have this cricket player which is on a go.
Yeah, so military plane crash, the breast implants were on a person who was in the plane crash, and the breast implants are not real breast implants. They had something hidden in them. They were smuggling something.
Whoa!
So this cricket player, for some reason, is the one who has to go and find the plane crash, find the body, and remove the hidden items.
He doesn't know which body it is.
So I think those two can go together and can coincide. I think that's how it Makes the most sense.
A sports agent unwittingly falls for a local woman. Well, that's
So
kind of
that's just a
straightforward.
regular rom-com.
Right. Done. Next.
Well, okay. I think we go back a little bit. The
Okay,
unwittingly
what?
is weird. Like he falls for it, but doesn't. I mean, I guess
Okay,
rom-coms have people not falling for them, but not knowing it. But
yeah, is he in denial about falling for her and doesn't know it? Or does he unwittingly...
does he not know she's local?
Or does she not
Like
know she's a woman?
maybe. But I think that would be unwitting on her part, not his. Or I guess the sports agent doesn't need to be a guy. So there's something that can be untangled there. But what the unwitting is, what does a sports agent not know in falling for them? So there's a little bit of an angle on the rom-com.
Yeah.
But I think not enough that we need to keep talking about it. We got a little extra time for our next one.
Next.
Centers on the real life story of the huntsman ordered to take Snow White into the woods to be killed. Wasn't there just a movie about this? Like,
right, yeah,
just a real movie? Real life story is weird.
Yeah, the real life story part is getting me. It's like, who was the whole thing from the point of the huntsman? Like, he grew up, how he became a huntsman.
But it also implies that, like, the real life story implies that this happened in reality.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Like, that the huntsman existed in 1500s medieval Europe.
Who's to say he didn't? There's not a whole lot in Snow White that couldn't be explained by science at this point.
Okay, no, I'll take it. Cool. We got a little bit of extra time on this next one. Maybe we don't need a minute for each one of them. All right.
Oh, don't jinx us. Dang it.
Here we go.
The inside story of the mysterious invitation, a sex scandal, and obsession of a terrorist. That's a lot of commas.
That's so many random things together. Obsession of a terrorist? Like the terrorist is obsessed.
Oh, I don't know. Considering the sex scandal, I'd say probably... Okay, no, either.
The terrorist...
is the obsession.
But it's not obsession with a terrorist.
It's obsession... Oh.
It's the obsession of
okay, so the terrorist is obsessed, which leads to he sends a mysterious invitation, which leads to a sex
scandal.
I keep saying sex sandal, and that's, those cute little strappies with the...
Yeah, there we go. That's a very different story.
Yes.
So we've still got almost a minute because we saved some time before. So the inside story means that there's something that the outside world saw of this.
So this is a terrorist who's a famous terrorist, probably.
Yes. Or maybe it was someone who people didn't know was a terrorist until the inside story came out. Like maybe it was somebody who was like planning terrorism acts but hadn't like acted on anything yet. And then the sex scandal and mysterious invitation took them down, at which point people realized what they were planning.
Oh, I like it. Okay, that's even more complete.
Okay.
Good job.
I think that works. Cool.
Yes.
Let's get on to the next one. A group of young TV camera women attempt to try to find out why his beloved left him years ago. Attempt to try is stupid, but try to endeavor to find out.
A group of young TV camera women seems very, very specific and unlikely considering usual demographics.
Are they all trying to compete to get the story? So
is this a real person they're trying to find out about, or is this like some sort of test story?
I think it's a real person. I think it's maybe it's like a networking group of young camera women, all like who connect because being a woman in the media is difficult. And one of them finds this lead that they all realize could make their careers if they can be the ones to figure it out.
That's true.
And so they're all fighting to figure out the angle.
What if we extend the definition of camera women to like vlogger?
Yeah, I think that could work too. Like,
and you have like this amateur paparazzi following this one dude around.
Yeah,
why did she leave you?
Like the podcast investigative journalism kind of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That is our minute. We are now caught up.
Okay. A newly released prisoner finds himself meeting up with his dream girl from high school, but he is distracted by unorthodox healing practices. Okay. Oh, this is all full of interesting...
So the first half makes sense. He gets released from prison and meets up with his dream girl.
Right, I'm gonna go find Sally.
And then unorthodox healing practices, because she's doing them or somebody else is doing them to him. Is somebody trying to heal him in an unorthodox way from his like violent tendencies? Is he like part of an experimental...
The word that's jumping out to me is distracted by. I think he was trying to reintegrate into society, but that left him a perfect target for like some sort of cult.
Okay. Or
With
maybe
like unorthodox healing practice. They're like, we can help you reintegrate into society. We can help heal your wounded soul. We can help you find the girl. But then that just like takes him farther and farther, and he gets deeper into it.
Okay, and that messes him up. Okay, cool. That's all the time we have. Next one.
Okay.
A bizarre band of criminals is transformed into Thor when he is assigned to help track down a mysterious serial killer.
I just pictured like Transformers, where they all like go into like a giant megabot.
That's what I'm trying to figure out. Is if it's a whole bunch of Thors or if it's one Mega Thor.
See, I pictured a Mega Thor.
Yeah, and so he, I'm assuming, who is assigned to help track them down, must be Thor himself. So Thor is off. Is it that Thor is off tracking down a serial killer, and the criminals are like, "Now is our chance to transform into Thor," since he's not around to stop us.
All these, because they're criminals and they look like Thor, and they're like going around causing havoc.
Their bizarre band is that they are the bizarrety is that they have figured out how to clone themselves onto other people. They figured out how to do mega transformation, and they do it for Thor. And he comes back and is like, "What are you doing?"
Not robbing banks. Okay, next. A group of the fast-approaching Union Army attempts to blackmail the cheaters.
A Union Army group who is approaching, but they're also part of it, and they're blackmailing cheaters.
Right.
Are these people who are cheating in the war?
I don't know. Maybe?
Like, is that an unorthodox way of calling somebody a deserter or a spy?
Right. You cheaters, you're not supposed to like hide behind the trees.
And so they're blackmailing them.
But they're also fast approaching.
Yeah, which is weird because they're also themselves. Are they trying to? So we've got like 20 seconds. Are they trying to blackmail them because once they get there, it will be bad? Like, do they reach out ahead to people who are who they're going to be in their town soon and say, "Hey, you cheaters, if you pay us, we won't destroy you when we get to your town."
Okay.
Like, that's the closest I can come to making sense of that.
That works for me.
All right, cool. Moving on.
Santa becomes torn between escaping and seizing control. Oh, this is interesting.
Okay.
So what is he escaping? Whatever he's escaping and seizing control of is the same thing. So where is he?
Is he in prison somewhere or stuck on an island somewhere, and he has the option to either get off or like become the ruler of that area?
See, I'm kind of going back to the episode where we had Santa on parole in the Vatican.
Yeah, so where is he? Is he escaping
like,
or seizing control of the Vatican?
Is he trying to escape? Is he trying to escape, or does he try to become Pope?
Okay, so it very much could be like Santa is in trouble for something, and he has the choice to either escape and avoid consequences, or he can go all in, become supervillain, and decide to rule the world.
Well, is he supervillain seizing control, or is he like passing out candy and stockings seizing control, and then
is
all
that
the guards
seizing
are happy
control?
to let him go?
What control is that?
Manipulative control, gaslighting control.
Controlling children into behaving. Well, that's our time on that. Y'all get to decide. Next up, we have more cricket players.
Oh, good.
A talented Indian cricket player, maybe the same one from before, infiltrates the Caribbean in order to possess the supernatural ability to connect with ghosts.
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, this just seems like a story. There are ghost stories of that
straightforward supernatural ghost story.
Yeah, and maybe they use the breast implants from the first story to be able to. This is the second in the series. I do go through. We've got a little time, so I can explain my process. I do go through our list of characters and settings and remove all the ones that we actually use in the podcast so that they don't show up again and again, but I don't remove it from the rejected ones, which is why we have our new cricket players here a couple of times. They might show up in a future real episode. We'll find out. All right, gained a little extra time. Next one.
A female police detective receives a mysterious invitation to meet with her ex-wife at a mysterious bank vault. Okay, all right, so we have like a what's the word for it? Buddy cop?
Yeah,
with girls.
I'm trying to figure out if the ex-wife is a bank robber,
or like a spy,
or a spy. And so, if it's
or she used to be. She thought she was dead. But
yeah. Okay.
No,
so that
she's alive,
and has something to show the police detective in the bank vault. Is this a revenge thing? Is the ex-wife going to lock up the police detective and in a bank vault nobody goes into and leave?
No, I think she needs her ex-wife to help her clear her name so she can be undead again.
Oh, okay,
be legally alive again. Yeah?
Okay, so it's okay. That works. That works for me.
Nice.
All right. Next, we're still a little bit ahead of time. A death row inmate starts a worm farm to get attention. So I'm a little bummed we didn't go with this one in the actual podcast because that's amazing. So
to get attention. Is he
like,
pulling like a Max Klinger where he's like going Section 8, like you can't kill me because I'm insane? Because I'm
by reason of insanity, I shouldn't be on death row.
Because I'm picturing like worms with like tiny straw hats, you know, like.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe this is a media thing, being like, "Hey, bring attention to my case because I'm this nice guy with a worm farm."
Right, yours like, makes a lot more sense.
I think, I
was thinking very cartoony, like Animaniacs style.
Yeah, which is I don't know. The death row inmate and the worm farm are an interesting combination of tones. I think we're gonna call that one good. Let's move on.
Okay. When her current boyfriend IDs the killer, his father leaves her fortune and estate to Bill. Is Bill the boyfriend or the killer?
I think it's or maybe just some other random person. Like his father is upset. His father had agreed to give her and him some money, and he
Bill
takes
is
it away
her brother.
From her. Maybe, but is his father? Who's his father? I assumed it was her boyfriend. So why is his father giving her any money?
Oh, see,
there are too many pronouns in this story, and I don't know what to do with them.
Okay. I think Bill. It's Bill's father leaving the fortune and estate to Bill. Bill's brother is the current boyfriend of her, and I think the killer is also the father, which is why when the current boyfriend IDs the father as the killer, he leaves the fortune and estate to the brother that didn't betray him.
Leaves her fortune, the boyfriend's, the girlfriend, his son's girlfriend's fortune.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I thought I had it all figured out.
No, that's why it's so baffling. Like his father, the boyfriend or Bill's father, leaves the girl's fortune.
Did Bill's father marry the girl's mother and inherit her fortune and then leaves it to Bill?
I think the killer is her brother. I think that's the best we can go.
Okay.
Because we have 3 seconds left, so here's the next one. Yeah, figure out those pronouns, folks. Whose father is it? The headless horseman finds himself racing against time and evil, but he is distracted by human sacrifices.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Pleasantly distracted, like, ooh, human sacrifices.
Maybe. I like that he's racing against time and evil. Like, has he decided to be a good person, and evil is like trying to take over him? Like, is he under? Is his part of his spell that he becomes more evil the longer time goes, and so he's trying to like turn that back, and
that kind of sounds like it,
like a nice headless horseman.
like maybe he'll get his head back if he tries really hard to be good.
But because he's already like got a little bit of the evil in him, this human sacrifice is like pull on that part of his soul.
Right, you know, like is he evil enough that like people leave human sacrifices so that he leaves everybody else alone, but he has to resist the sacrifices if he's going to be good?
Maybe. I think that kind of works. I think we got a little bit of a playing with that. Cool. All right.
At the Mexico border, 4 predator-type creatures find themselves kidnapping the love of his life.
Again, a mysterious pronoun. That could be one of the creatures who are all in love with someone on the border.
That's assuming predator-type creatures have gender?
It could be. I just figured that's the only thing that's mentioned. The only subject. So I default to that.
I like the phrase, find themselves kidnapping. Do they not know it's her?
Is it one of the things where like did she climb into their van and
or like were they just trying to kidnap somebody and then they're like, oh hey, this is your love.
Yeah, I like that. They're trying to kidnap somebody and 4 of them bring him back, and the 5th predator type creature is like, hold on, that's the love of my life.
We can't kidnap her.
She doesn't want to be with me now. Now that she knows my friends
ruined it.
And maybe they're not obviously predator type creatures. Maybe they have like human disguises. And so he's like, well, crap, now she knows who I really am.
Shoot. Next.
All right, let's get it. We've got the Jedi Council again. We keep rejecting Jedi Council, which is fair. Not everybody wants to write about Star Wars.
That's true.
The Jedi Council must choose between his desire to come to the aid of a single mother and the responsibilities of beginning stalking.
Does beginning stalking have responsibilities?
I guess. Are they stalking?
Responsibility number 1, don't get caught.
Yeah, so I guess boiling that down, it means they have to choose to either help this person or to stalk her. Okay, so is it because they're observing her, because they're measuring something or testing something? And so they have to decide, do we continue to just observe and watch and do the scientific experiment the way that we were taught was ethical? This is
obviously the story of Anakin Skywalker. She's a single mother, right? And they either try to help her and train the boy, or they just watch him to see if he's going to be evil.
Yeah, so I think it's just that.
You're darn it, it's just the Phantom Menace. Okay, moving on.
There we go. Write the Phantom Menace if you want, listeners.
An ensemble comedy about the meaning of shadow.
Okay.
This is philosophical.
This is very abstract. There's got to be a comedy and an ensemble comedy. So is it like, this feels like it could be like...
Meaning of shadow.
Yeah, like, I don't even know what that means in a comedic way. Like, I feel like the part of the story has to set up the meaning of shadow to begin with. Like, if shadow is like the name of something that exists in this world, or the name of an activity, or the name of a product, and then maybe it's an ensemble comedy about the meaning of some product that has changed the entire way that people like live. Something that was like fundamentally just changed the world, and it's all of them figuring out how it affects their life. I don't know. This is so difficult to do without knowing what shadow is.
Seriously, like an energy drink.
Yeah, and that's all the time we have. So we have...
Next.
You all have to take this and run. A free-spirited woman in her 50s struggles to overcome her addiction to ulterior motives.
She's addicted to ulterior motives.
This just sounds like a manipulative person learning to be better.
Yeah.
Like somebody who's not good at being forthright with people, or is very passive-aggressive.
Does she have ulterior motives, or does she have like rejection sensitivity dysphoria, and is like,
and she's addicted
suspects
to other
everybody
people's
else
ulterior
about
motives?
Having ulterior motives? Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
But like, if she's like that seems like the opposite of a free-spirited person to me.
Yeah. Unless it's a thing where like she assumes everybody has ulterior motives, and so she rejects all of them and just goes and does her own thing.
That's true.
And so she has to like come back to it. Either way, this is like a heartwarming memoir about a woman bettering herself in her 50s.
All right. 2 sisters who are believed to possess the supernatural ability to connect with ghosts team up to stop 2 women from perceiving an external threat. Don't let them know they're threatened. Don't let them see.
Okay.
There's an outline.
So is it because ghosts have extra power if people know they're there? And so they have to stop these women from recognizing that there are in fact threatening ghosts. Because as long as they don't believe, the ghosts have no power.
Well, and the best part is that the 2 sisters are believed to possess the supernatural ability to connect with ghosts. It doesn't mean they actually have it.
Do they not?
They believe they can connect with ghosts, but they have to prevent the other women from believing they don't.
That's very weird. That's a very, like, that people
and the
who
audience
think they see ghosts but don't have to stop people from thinking...
never figures out if there's actually ghosts or not.
I think that's gonna happen. I think that's how that's gonna have to be. It's just very weird to have flipped the script that way, and it's like these people think they see ghosts, but they don't, and they have to stop these people who don't think they see ghosts from. It's so confusing. We're gonna move on. The attendees of a bachelor party face a scandal involving a tooth fairy legend.
I'm imagining if it's a bachelor party, I'm imagining the tooth fairy is a stripper.
Oh, possibly. I wondered if maybe they were like taking people's teeth out as part of the bachelor party.
What world is that in?
I don't know. It's a terrible one. They took the wrong party drugs. And now the entire world believes that the tooth fairy exists.
Oh gosh.
Because otherwise you have to have a stripper who has a legend. I feel like it has to be the actual tooth fairy somehow.
Okay, is it the actual fairy, or is it like absinthe fairy, but like the groom got his teeth all knocked out, and so the other drunk bachelor, his friends, decide to convince him that the tooth fairy has stopped by, and so they make this legend about it.
So they feed him the legend, and that leads to a scandal.
Right, because he now believes that's what's happened, and he's like this famous guy, and so they're like, well, he's gone off his rocker.
goes hardcore to bat for the tooth fairy existing.
Right.
Because he woke up from a drunken party with no teeth.
That's right. And how else could it have happened?
This is not a very bright bachelor. All right, we've got 10 left. Here we go.
Gosh, we can do this.
In the mid-60s, a priest and a rabbi defeat a vengeful spirit from the past. That's just a regular supernatural story. So I think you can leave that and move on. Done. That's why we didn't choose that one.
A murder conspiracy changes a long-serving MI5 officer's life forever, as he eagerly is always there with a helpful hand.
Okay.
So he's like this happy-go-lucky MI5 officer, and then a murder conspiracy happens.
Well, I think the murder conspiracy has to then involve him. Like, people think that he was murdered, or not murdered, but murdering.
Well, and so, like, they don't want his helpful hand anymore.
And he's just really sad because he likes helping people.
Oh, poor officer.
All right, on we go. A big-time show winner and Emily Dickinson investigate the theft of a mystical tome in a winter production of Peter Pan.
Oh gosh, this is like one of those stories that happens like the library bookshelf fell over and all the characters.
Right? So there are no mystical tomes in Peter Pan, the stage show. So
nope, there are not.
Okay.
But it's a like, winter production.
So it could be the stage manager's book that is mystical in some way. Like it ensures that everything, it lets them actually fly.
Well, that's true.
So the mystical tome, it's stolen, and now none of the production is in danger because they didn't actually have any safety rigging up. They were just legitimately flying thanks to the stage manager's magical stage book. And so a show winner and Emily Dickinson have to find it. I don't know why then.
It's not actually Emily Dickinson. It's a teenager who's happens to be named Emily Dickinson.
Okay. And then a show winner, is this a theatrical show? That's not what anybody calls it.
Her best friend is like a pageant queen or something. Okay.
So two teenagers investigating the theft of the magical stage manager's book that lets people in Peter Pan actually fly. Love it.
Right? The schemes of two New York City divorce lawyers who will stop at nothing to be the target of a nationwide manhunt.
Why do they want people to hunt them? Is this for... Are they competing for media attention? Because if they are... I'm trying to find a way that being missing would somehow connect to them being good lawyers. Like are they setting it up like that their exes have kidnapped them and they're like, hire us and we will make sure that your divorce doesn't end in this?
Okay, what if it's not an actual manhunt? What if it's a reality show that they're both competing to be on because they don't want to be lawyers anymore?
Okay.
Huh?
Okay, I think that works. I'm happy with that. Let's move on. Two slacker wrestling fans fall for a single mom, thinking she is two men of opposing ideologies.
Oh, this is
catfishing.
Yes. Yeah.
So it doesn't. Yeah. So she's.
So she.
I don't know why she would catfish them to be men of opposing. I don't know why the opposing ideologies is important.
I'm having a complete brain fart about this.
Or does she do that not to catfish them romantically and get money from them, but because she is trying to do something?
No, because they're two wrestling fans, and they are fans, and the two men of opposing ideologies are like two rival wrestlers.
Oh, so they think she is the wrestlers. And they fall in love with her.
No, because the wrestling fans are the mom's teenage kids, and they're like, and so she's pretending to be,
and they fall for
the
her?
wrestlers. Well, they fall for her scheme because she's pretending to be the wrestlers to make them feel better because like they wouldn't shout out happy birthday or something at the wrestling match.
I think I can
is
get
that
behind
stretching
that.
it?
I think it is, but we only have 6 seconds left, so I'm gonna have to be fine with it. So here we go.
In a month before his birthday, King Clint is forced from semi-retirement to have no powers. Okay, King Clint.
Okay. So he semi-retires and gets powers. And he's forced out of semi-retirement, so he has no powers.
Superpowers are only reserved for
the retired.
Okay.
So that you can't use it to further your career.
Oh, of course.
You can't use it. You get powers when you're old enough to have the wisdom and earned the right to enjoy them.
So I think King Clint must be his super name?
Yeah, I was thinking of like a literal kingdom, but yeah, I think super name works too. But in some way he gets this. And maybe the month before his birthday, that's when he was going to be like full retirement and get his full powers. And so he has to come back and do something, but without any of the powers at all.
Dang it. Stupid job.
All right, we've got four left. Here we go.
Okay.
All right. As Two-Face rallies the residents of a beloved Manhattan neighborhood, he finds himself uncovering an agenda that will affect the lives of all of humanity. So this is, a Batman story where Two-Face is maybe the hero. I mean, who's always been kind of an interesting villain.
That's true. Well, he's not necessarily the hero. He could just be rallying the resident. I mean, this could be Two-Face's...
He's definitely the protagonist, I think. Like, he's the one who's the protagonist. The story. And maybe he is, he's rallying them something, and he's uncovering an agenda, and maybe, I don't know, that feels like that could just be a...
This sounds like a Two-Face origin story to me.
But he's already Two-Face by the time he rallies?
Not necessarily.
I mean, I would assume that if it's... Otherwise, it'd be like as Harvey Dent rallies.
Unless it just, like, starts out as a nickname, because he was a lawyer in his backstory, and so, like, what if he just had that nickname to begin with? Yeah.
Can't remember how well that jives with the story. I don't know. Well, we have 1 second left, so we're going to move on. You all can write your Batman fan fiction about Two-Face.
Two unsuspecting girls work with their father to become involved with a group of petty criminals in the Los Angeles area.
That seems very straightforward.
Yes, it does.
It's girls who find out their father's a criminal, and they work together. The end.
No, it says they're unsuspecting and they work with him, so I think he's using them. They don't know that they're working with him to become involved with a group of petty criminals.
Yeah, he's like sending them to like scout out places, but they don't know it. And then when they find out, they're like, "Oh, hey, stop!"
Go take this bag to the bus station.
Exactly. And then they take him and the criminals down at the end because they're like, "No,
horrible father."
Yeah, not great. All right, we have 2 left. The only remaining survivor of the apocalypse, a veteran, teams up with a train robber at a post-World War I British estate.
Okay.
So is the train robber dead then?
It must be.
Is this like Swiss Army Man? where he's carting around a corpse who's being helpful? I also don't know why it's like, I don't know. I feel like this one is so world dependent.
Okay. But like, what if the train robber isn't actually present, but like, is manifested through his diary or something?
Okay.
And so like he becomes the veteran's Wilson.
Okay. I think
we don't know what they're teaming up to do.
No. Oh, but we are out of time, so we're gonna leave you all to figure that out. To figure out our very last one.
An aging, lonely civil servant must battle an ancient sorceress. I kind of like this one as is.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a fantasy story. The end. All right, folks. So
we're awesome.
So some of those were more interesting and exciting than others. Some of them, it's very clear why we left them alone. Others, it's very sad that we couldn't write them. So we just dug into the very, very openings of that one. If anybody wants to do any of these or wants to turn any of these into a mid-month nano project, go for it. And
yes.
Let us know which one of these you wish had been on the actual show. Because there are a couple of those and I'm like, oh, I wish we had gotten to actually talk about that for real. We're not going to do recommendations today. We're going to save that for next week, but we do want to take a moment. We let our guests shout out their other projects. We're going to do that as well. So we're going to just take a second during our 1-year anniversary and let us know where else you can find us. So the 2 things that I want to plug real quickly are very different. One is I do have a second podcast called What's It Like? There are a lot of different podcasts with that name, it turns out, but I couldn't find any other one that I liked. So you can find mine on Twitter at @PodWhat'sItLike, and that'll link to all the specific episodes. And the idea is that I interview people about very specific life experiences. So this morning, actually, before I recorded this, I chatted with a person who had completed an Ironman triathlon, which I knew nothing about. And so I just dig really deep and ask them, okay, what was this like? What was this like? Why did you do this? What do people misunderstand? So definitely check that out if you want to hear something, just people sharing their stories. And the other thing that I have done, that if you want something just absolutely silly like this, storytelling within limitations, I have a TikTok now. And specifically, it is for sharing my newest ridiculous creative videoing project, where I take late night talk show interviews that are being filmed during the pandemic. So while everybody is at home, so it just looks like a Zoom meeting with the celebrity. And I've been inserting my own questions and scrambling around what they say. And so they're only about a minute long and they're very silly. This has become part of my after work wind down routine because it's just a nice way to let all the nonsense of the day out. So if you want to see something absolutely ridiculous, you can check out my TikTok. My handle is Hannah Kiefer47. I think that was a random one assigned to me when I joined. So, but you can catch all that there. So there's a more serious one and a sillier one. So Jenny, before we close out, what would you like to share?
I've started an editing business. If you write anything and would like to get edited, check me out at Allrediting, ALLREDITING, on Facebook, Twitter, or just email me for questions, for rates, find out what I do. I do take free samples, and you can get your writing, some very valuable feedback on your writing.
Yeah, we've even made connections with some of the folks here who have been on the podcast with us and done some of the editing there. So we would love to continue to connect with listeners. If you write anything based on any of these stories and want Jenny to edit it, go for it. All right. Oh, the last thing. Thank you all so much for those of you, whether you are listening to us for the first time or whether you've been listening to us since day one.
Yes.
It's been awesome to do this for a year. And we've got some great stories. And we had some great answers and some great submissions. And so it's been a real blast. I want to toss out as well, if you haven't done this yet, I would encourage you to, even if you don't use iTunes or Apple Podcasts, whatever it's actually called, if you go and leave a ranking and a review on our page, it does boost us a little bit in the Apple Podcast store. So if you like us, you don't have to actually write a review, but if you want to go and just give us 5 stars using your Apple ID, that would be awesome. We never really ask for that. We just kind of do this for fun. But if you want to help the show out a little bit, that in a way, that would be one way that you can do that.
Yeah, we'd appreciate it so much.
Yeah, awesome. All right, folks, that is our episode. As a reminder, you can find us every other Thursday, wherever you get your podcasts.
Follow us on Twitter at WriteThisPod, and if you've been inspired by this episode and have questions or comments or a story or anything else, email us at somebodywritethis@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
We'll be back with another episode with a guest in 2 weeks. We'll see you then.
And as they say, if you only have one cow, you don't say which cow gave this milk.